Today on the Platinum Patrol, we have another game from RathFr Nick up against the Protoss Killmonger. It appears our Zerg just sending out his first Overlord, which is very normal for this phase in the game, and our Protoss looks like he's going for a low ground pylon, it looks like, to start building the wall. In the meantime, our Zerg is continuing to build drones and an Overlord. Probe's coming across the map, second probe's going down to the wall, probably to build the gateway as soon as this pylon finishes. We'll have to see what this probe scouts out, and if RathFr Nick is opting for an early Zergling or a spawning pool or a hatchery. In the meantime, the probe built the gateway and returned to the base. The scouting probe's coming out right now, and we'll have to see what he sees and if he can deny this hatchery. Looks like he's just a little bit too slow to deny that hatchery. It's going to go up. He scouts the main base. You should see the first gas coming up right now from RathFr Nick. In the meantime, behind this, the Protoss is building his gas and saving up 250 minerals, probably going to drop down an early Nexus. RathFr Nick's hatchery is on the way, and the probe is patrolling outside to make sure no Zerglings sneak by. RathFr Nick still hasn't built a queen, because he didn't have his spawning pool yet. So our Protoss should have scouted there was no spawning pool, and should know this probe's in no danger from the Zerglings. He finally puts down his cybernetics core. His early Nexus is starting up now, and it appears he's going for a second gas. RathFr Nick sees the probe on patrol, and knows not to send any Zerglings out there, because the probe's very dangerous. Could get him. Looks like he's about to start building some more units. The Zerglings are on the way. They have to be careful. This probe might scare him off, you never know. Or the probe could die. In the meantime, our Protoss is building a pylon at the edge of his base to see any sneaky units that could come in there. And his cybernetics core finishes up. We'll have to see how long it is till he starts Warp Gate. In the meantime, our Zerg player is finally taking out this probe on patrol, and it appears that it's gonna go down. Back in the main base of the Protoss, we don't see any extra tech structures. Just, oh, there's the Stargate. He's building a Stargate at the corner of his base, so the pylon was for. We'll have to see if our RathFr Nick can scout this out or not. In the meantime, our Zerg has built his queen. He's got two queens. Probably going to be injecting some larvae soon. He has the energy for it. There's a little skirmish between the Adept and the 4 Zerglings on the map. The Adept looks like he's going to be able to shade away after taking out one of the Zerglings. We'll have to see which direction it goes. It doesn't want to walk back that way. That's where the Zerglings are. It's really low now, though, so the Queens will be able to deal with it if it comes to any of the bases. Especially if he tries to do it without its shields regenerating first. And he's going to shade into a bunch of Zerglings and cancel it so he can get some in. Nope, he's just going to let it shade in and die. Alright. He wanted the scouting information to last a second longer, so he didn't want the Adept anymore. He is blocking off the entrance to his base. And we'll have to see what comes out of this Stargate. Haven't seen anything be built from it yet. Nothing snuck by. I figured he would have used this. Alright, there we go. He's building his Oracle. So we'll have to see if RathFr Nick can defend against this Oracle, or if he's going to take some drone casualties. Looks like RathFr Nick's strategy coming up after this is to go for a Hydralisk Den. Oh no, the lair. He's getting the lair and probably going for a Hydralisk Den, as what we've seen him do in the previous games against the Protoss. Sending some drones out to his different bases. And on the other side of the map, it appears Warp Gate is almost done. And our Protoss player is getting his third gas. This gas has 5 probes on it. It's a little bit excessive. It's not helping him out any. He basically has 2 less workers than it says. But speaking of workers, he is ahead by 10 over our Zerg player. I'm not sure how that ended up happening. I guess our Zerg player just isn't building drones. Should probably correct that a little bit. He's going to need the economy to deal with this. In the meantime, his Overlord gets driven off by the hallucinated Phoenix, which makes the Overlord move so he can get shot, but then RathFr Nick moved it back. He could have kept it here for vision, had the Sentry do some damage to it. In the meantime, though, here we go. The Oracle's in the base, it flies in, it gets into range of the Spore Colony, or Spore Crawler, and doesn't fly away in time and dies. The Phoenix Scout comes in now, looking around, sees the Roach Warren, sees the lair. We'll have to see what the Protoss' response is to this. Looks like he's got a robotics, looks like he's also supply blocked. He finally moves those 2 extra probes off his gas, which is good for him. He drops 2 pylons. So it looks like he's going for some immortals for his army to deal with these roaches as he scouted the Warren. The real question though is, will RathFr Nick build any roaches? Looks like he has 5 starting up, so he's probably going to be building more. Hopefully he also gets some more drones. He's still only at 35. His opponent's 47 probes. His opponent appears to have stopped probe production though, until his 3rd Nexus is done. So he has a chance to catch up now. The Forge comes down, the Zerg will have to deal with some upgrades pretty soon then. In the meantime, RathFr Nick's choice of tech is the Spire. This is a kind of odd choice, because he already knows about the Stargate since there's an Oracle earlier, so he probably was an extremely risky move to make Mulisks here. So this has to be for Corruptors, because if he's already seen this, so he knows that there could be Phoenixes coming out at any time, which do especially well against his Mulisks. So he most likely will not be building any of those. He'll probably just be for some Corruptors for air control. He still doesn't have this main base saturated with workers, or this 3rd, or his natural. He needs some more drones here, I feel. His economy is very low. He's only at, well, he just started up a whole bunch of drones, so, or they just finished up, so now he caught up. It's much better. That should help him out in the long term here. The Protoss is looking like he's building a wall of gateways here. The wall off for his base. He's got a Zealot in this side, and he's sending some probes to his 3rd base. His Immortals are finishing up. We'll have to see. He starts his level 1 weapons a little bit ago. They're almost halfway done. Is our Zerg getting any upgrades? The Zerg has Zergling speed, and that is all. He's not building any more. Does he even have an evolution chamber? Doesn't look like it. Nope, no evolution chamber. Looks like the Protoss is trying to move out. His Immortals barely fit through the gap. Hopefully there's no Archons back here. Like, he doesn't warp his Archons in back here, because they won't be able to fit through that. Also, hopefully he's going for some Archons and Storm, or some kind of AoE damage against this Zerg. His Phoenix comes in to scout, and tries to chase an Overlord around instead of getting any scouting information. And RathFr Nick chooses to hunt down the hallucinated Phoenix with his Mutalisks to give his opponent knowledge of the incoming Mutalisks. I do catch this Oracle though, so that'll probably go down. Or he'll take out some Zerglings. We'll have to see. His opponent already has a Stargate, so these Mutalisks will most likely be shut down very quickly. Looks like this Queen's going to drive off this Oracle, and the Mutalisks come into the base. We'll have to see when the Phoenix production starts up from our Protoss player. And these Mutalisks are just hanging out. Oh, here they go. Now they're going to attack in here. The Protoss appears to only have Stalkers for anti-air, and they're not doing very much to save his probes right now. Speaking of the probes, looks like several of them go down, but they run back to warp in of 4 or 5 Stalkers. This Stargate is not being used. Even a couple of Phoenixes would be enough to help out drive these Mutalisks away very quickly. Because even if you have a lot of Stalkers, he doesn't have a Twilight Council. Well, he just finished the Twilight Council. So they're going to have difficulty chasing down the Mutalisks without Blink, and they don't have Blink yet. So some Phoenixes would be a really great choice. I'm surprised that Protoss hasn't done that yet. And there's even more Mutalisks out now, so it'd be very... There's not enough Stalkers to really deal with this at this point. We have 19 Mutalisks to 8 Stalkers. That's not enough. But here comes the Zerg Protoss army. It wants to engage. Guardian Shield will help out a lot. We'll have to see if it's enough. The Mutalisks fly away. He's probably just waiting for that Guardian Shield to expire before re-engaging. I'm still amazed this guy hasn't made any Phoenixes. He could have made a couple more Stargates and just started making Phoenixes. He had the Stargate when he saw the first 5 Mutalisks. He could have been building them the whole time. Instead, he's going for some more Stalkers, it looks like. We'll have to see if he keeps building units here. Our Zerg player looks like he's going for a lot of Overlords. He has 178 potential supply, and he's only using 105 of it right now, 110. So that's a lot of minerals he's spending now that he could use on something else. Although he does have for example, he has 1,000 gas main, could have built 10 more Mutalisks. Speaking of the Mutalisks, They fly by the third base and get driven off. They're going to find the fourth, though. So either probably be canceled. I don't think there's enough stalkers here to deal with this yet. Level 2 weapons starting for the Protoss. He's getting his Twilight counts, or his Templar archives. Looks like this army is enough to scare off RathFr Nick for now. The Zerglings are here. There's still not enough anti-air here for the Protoss player. He should be wary of that. He could build a couple batteries really quick here if he wanted to, but it looks like this army should be enough to defeat this. Even if the ground units all die, the Noodle will chase down everything. We'll have to see if that's what happens here. And that's appearing to be what's happening. The Immortals on the ground take out all the Roaches, and Zealous take out the Zerglings, but there's not enough Stalkers to deal with the Mutualists. And let's see if our Protoss retreats his ground army before it gets picked off here. No, it wants to hang out, and RathFr Nick doesn't want to kill it. We got an observer here. They don't want to know what's going on. They just want to know what's going on, even though the Nexus can see just fine. This probe came down here. He's like, I'm going to build something, and then he blew up. There's 3 Archons here. We'll have to see how they do. Looks like these Mutualists are going to get a lot of damage done. He recalls the Archons into his main base. Now, there's only 2 of them. He missed one. So these 2 Archons are going to go down to the Mutualists after doing a lot of damage. And he drives away some more probes. A lot more probes go down, bringing him up to 30 probe kills so far, which is quite a few. And he's starting to build Correctors. His opponent, though, is getting out his High Templars. Let's see where they are. He built them in here. We'll have to see if he makes those into Archons or saves up for Storm. They're going to be Archons. We'll have to see if he remembers that his entrance is too narrow and doesn't get them stuck in his base the rest of the game with the F2A move. But my prediction is they're going to be stuck. Because what I've seen so far makes me think this guy's not going to notice. RathFr Nick does pick off that Nexus finally. And these 3 Archons drive away the Mutualists. One of them goes down. Our players are still tied on drones and probes somehow. During this fight, the remaining Immortals and Zealots that the Mules didn't kill when they had the chance ran across the map and killed this hatchery, which is now being rebuilt. They probably killed the drones there too. The Mules are going to take out some pylons. I'm not sure why Protoss keeps building his gateways outside his 4th base instead of somewhere safer, because these Mules keep shutting them down. Behind this, there come the Corruptors. It looks like we have a Greater Spire coming in, so this is probably, these Corruptors are probably for Broodlords. And there's only, for anti-air, there appear to only be 4 Archons and 7 Stalkers, which are trying to drive away the units for now. Speaking of Archons, they still are stuck in the main base. Our Protoss player hasn't managed to get them out yet. So he just moved them, and they came to this corner down here and are stuck again. So his army supply is actually 12 lower than what it says, because he never got them out of his base. Our Zerg still only have 40 drones. There's not very much economy behind this, so he has to keep up the pressure. Otherwise, he's going to fall pretty far behind as this goes on, and our Protoss makes tech units. Speaking of units, this Stargate still hasn't been used. I just built 2 Oracles, and that was it. Mulists coming here. These Archons will drive them away for now. But where are the Brood Lords? They're morphing in back here. Once these get here, the Protoss doesn't have anything to deal with this. He doesn't have Blink on his Stalkers to snipe them. He doesn't have any air units to take them out. He only has these 3 Archons and a few Stalkers without Blink to take them out, and that's not really going to do it. The Zerg is morphing in 26 Zerglings. That will probably be the final units he wants for this attack. He's going to have his Broodlords fly up to meet his other units, and they're all going to gather up for one big attack. So we'll have to see. The Protoss has maybe a minute or 2 to warp in what he needs to defend this, and we'll have to see what's going on there. He sends in a counterattack of the Zealots, taking out quite a few drones. This is a good attack by him, trying to keep his opponent back, and while this is going on, he uses the distraction to move in and take out the 4th. This is a strong play by the Protoss. He's trying to help him keep in the game, and hopefully behind this, he can retreat his units. We're going to have time to spend his bank. These Archons destroy the Zerglings, and these Noodles can't really engage here. There's too many Archons. Well, if the Archons fight, they can't engage. And there we go, a couple good shots. But 2 Archons went down, which will hurt him in this big fight coming up. He's going to warp in another one. He needs more anti-air. He doesn't have enough. He has a massive bank, but it doesn't look like he has the production structures to use it. And these Archons are still stuck in his base. He keeps trying to move with the F2 his entire army, and these units keep getting stuck in his base, and he hasn't noticed yet. These would make a huge difference in this coming up fight. 3 extra Archons would be a massive difference, especially against this many Mutalisks. The Archons that are there drive away the Mutalisks at first, but the Broodlords are on the way. There's 8 Broodlords. And our Protoss definitely doesn't have enough to deal with this. His only real option is once Storm's finished to save some Templar with Storms for him. And it looks like he's going to try and focus them down. We'll have to see if this works. He's sending in his Archons, he's sending in Stalkers. There's no support for these Broodlords, so this is a fantastic time to try and kill them. But it looks like the focus of our Protoss player is a little off. He keeps accidentally clicking on attacking the Broodlings instead of the Broodlords. He's wasting a lot of potential damage. And it looks like his units are going to go down. He could have won this fight if he brought the other 3 Archons, which are still in his base. But it looks like that's going to be it. The Mutalisks show up, and our Protoss player decides that's it. He's done with the game.